Okay, this particular session of Check-in Service 2019 is on Moodle Books. Moodle Books basically is set up so that you could turn any kind of paper text into a well-organized online textbook. And the nice thing is as an online textbook, it could have links to anything you want to have links to. Hidden inside of it, you could have videos inside of it, you could have pictures inside of it. There's like all kinds of stuff. And because of the way that it's actually set up, you can also restrict access to it as well. And you can use links from other things to go to it. So let's just say that if you had a quiz, and the quiz was based off of chapter 9 or something like that, and you still wanted somebody to have access to it, when you create the quiz, you could actually make a link to the particular book. So, where is it at on here? As you can see, I've got my editing turned on. I'm going to switch my colors because I'm kind of partial to blue. Makes things easy to see for me too. So, in here, all right, if you turn your editing on, you actually have the add an activity or resource. And if you click on that and go way on down, all right, the first thing inside the resource is a book. All right, so we'll click on that, go ahead to add the book, give the book a name. We'll just call it Tech in Service. Excuse me. Oh, man. Well, it does not like the word in service. Oh, apparently I need to hyphenate it. All right. You can put your description in here if you need to. Appearance. Now, under appearances, it's all on how the thing's actually laid out in the available menu for the students on the left-hand side of the screen. Once this thing is actually created, you can actually use nothing, all right, which just basically leads one thing over the top of the other. I don't particularly like that, but numbers, bullets, and indent. If you're doing chapters, this is a really good one, all right, providing that your chapters will actually line up.
Or a unit.
Yeah, or a unit. Yeah, unit's a really nice one on that. If you don't have something like that, but you'd still like to have an organization to it, bullets is really nice. The indent one does the same stuff, but there's no visual indicator, like you would with a bullet. You know, whether it's a solid one or a hollow one, or the sizes change on it.
Can I ask how the heck you got where you're at?
Sure, no problem. Actually, I will go ahead and back up for you. What I'm going to do here is I'm on my page.
Okay.
All right. I've got my editing turned on because it says turn it off. And I click on add an edit or resource and go all the way down to the bottom. And the very first resource I have is book. So I click on book and go for add.
Where's book out?
It's all the way at the very bottom. Yeah.
Is it the theme that's causing it?
He may not actually have access. You may not be at the level of Moodler for a book.
Super, right?
Well, it doesn't mean it's not possible for you to actually get there. It just means that it's.
You can come look off ours.
I don't know, somehow I got advanced Moodler. I don't know how.
Advanced.
Yeah, mine says advanced Moodler now.
We must have been testing something out. All right, so back on this. Make sure I remember that to. All right. So there I'm going with Tech In Service 2019. I'm going to go with actually bullets on this one. All right. Style of navigation. There's like there could be a text, TOC only. I just usually leave this one alone. All right. Custom tiles, leave that one alone as well. All right. Common Moodle things. This is the same stuff, whether it's actually available inside the course and so forth. Restrictions, which is something I'm talking about in the next set, which if you're not using these ones, you need to be at that next session because the thing's awesome. Availability completion, this one is also a really nice one, which is something you need to turn on. If you don't have this available on any of your assignments, it's because you did not turn it on in your course settings. This actually allows you to give check marks and stuff, or check marks to be rendered to students.
Why don't I have one of those? Say that again.
You need to turn it on inside of your class settings. So you remember where we were at, and we did the...
Edit settings up here in administration?
Yep.
Okay, leave.
And scroll all the way down. You're going to see...
Which one?
I have to look at your screen also.
Which one is it?
There, completion tracking, and it say yes.
Yes, it won't change anything else, right?
Nope.
Okay.
But what happens is when you actually start using it, little check marks will show over on the right hand. Well, boxes will show up, all right, on the right hand side, which I'll show you when I get out of this. They'll show up on the right hand side, and depending on the criteria that you set for the activity to be completed, it will either show up as a red X, a blue check mark, or a green check mark.
Okay.
All right. So on this one, I'm going to actually say that students can manually put this one in, and
You
here.
locked me out, Dan.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah. So under this one, it's like show the activities completed when something is met. What is it? Students actually have to view the activity, and when do they have to view it? I can actually turn this on and say you have to view it by this particular date. All right, in order to get the actual check mark. So the reason why you do this one is because if you're going to use restriction sets in your class, this is yet another tool that is available to you. And it also helps the students when they come back and go, what did we do? I was like, did you look at Moodle? Yeah. I was like, are you missing any check marks? Yeah. That's what we did.
Okay, and this may not be the right time for this question, but I'm going to ask anyway. Because we're doing the activity completion piece. Can I set one of these up, or like I'm pulling all of this information in only as an online textbook without necessarily having activities and things embedded, and I'm still using this tool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to go with a save and display. All right. Reason why I said save and display is because I've just made the book. I don't have any chapters in it, no sheets, nothing like that. So save and display, and now I'm going to actually set up my first chapter. All right. Which for this one, I'm just calling it Friday. All right. And what is it that's actually going on in here? Is that anything that you actually want to go in? It could be all kinds of different items. If the one or two is like here in particular, just for fun, I was like, I'm actually hijacking somebody's computer for a second. And in doing so, I actually grabbed a picture. And I'm letting them have theirs back. And I'm pasting the picture. I could actually come in here and actually paste a picture in of something if I wanted to, of what somebody else's work was actually on in this class. If you have text written someplace else, all right, whatever it happens to actually be, you then could actually go get that text and bring it in. I'm using a fallback, if you will, that's nice and short, but everybody seems to know it when they see it. All right, in here. All right, Gettysburg Address. So I go for a save on this one, and this is how it will show up in it. As you can see here in my table of contents, it's Friday. Here's the Gettysburg Address. Now in this, it's like, what else could I actually do? I can actually add on to this. All right, I can come in and manipulate it. I can trash it. I can actually hide it. Now in hiding it, I can still see it, but my students can't. So I can actually turn parts of my book on and parts of my book off, depending on what I want them to actually do.
Can you
Now,
put a picture with it?
yes, I can. So case in point is I have, I'm going to edit this one, all right? And there's a particular one of the Soldiers National Cemetery, all right? And I'm going to pop that picture in. So in doing so, I hit save so you can see what it looks like that. If I...
Do you have control of how the picture looks? Can you move it or?
Yeah. So different things you can do with the picture. When we come back in here, I was like, under this picture is right now you can see that it's actually left aligned. I can put it in the center. I can put it over on the other side. Depending.
Can you put it in like after the third paragraph or the second paragraph?
Yeah. So here, if I actually slide down here, I can actually move it around. Excuse me. I'm gonna make some room over here. So I'm gonna cut it from there and bring it into, say, here. So it's into something like that. I can also, since this is here, I can actually do a link off of this one and use the website, which I actually got it from, and paste it into there and have it open up in a different window to create the link. So when this thing's actually active, all right, it's on here, somebody hovers over the top of it, and you can see they click on it, it's going to take them to where I got that. Now you can actually do the same thing with text inside of it as well. So the same thing could be said is that if you were, you know, I could turn this all into, you know, a hyperlink if I wanted to. You can actually come in and change the highlighting colors behind it. This here actually also does coloring as well. Of course, your font sizes, or font types, excuse me, font sizes. In here, you can actually go into, if you're nifty with HTML code, you could get just straight crazy making this thing just an absolute fabulous, practically a website in of itself of different things that you could actually attach to it. You also have here, you have the option to put videos in, all right? So let's just say that I was going with, you know, Gettysburg Address, and I want to, here I'm going with PDF, but just going with a search like that, and now I want to go video wise. Here's a nice little 2-minute video on it. I'm going to actually copy the link address from that and come back into here and go down here, and since it is a, I should double check, it is a YouTube, is it? No, wait. No, not a YouTube one. Sorry. Back it up. If it is, well, if it is a YouTube one, there we go. There, this one. So I'm going to take that one, and I can actually then take that and paste it in here, just like that. Hit save. As I do, now I have the video for it. So not only because they could actually read through it and so forth, then this would actually take
YouTube?
If it's not a YouTube, you can't actually embed it like that. It's just because of the way the things actually
have a link and take you to that website.
Yeah. So if it is a video but it's not a YouTube video, just use it as a link. And then what you'd want then is to have it open up in another page, just like I did with this one here. As when you click on this, it opens up in another page. That way that they're able to still navigate their way back to the actual class itself.
Do you just put the URL, or do you put a little picture in there for them to click on?
I would say it's up to you, but which one would actually look more nifty is if I said, you know, if I had something like this, and this is where I was wanting to go. If I copied this, came here, and in my editing, I were to go down here and say this is the one I want. If I would actually make this one into a link, like that, open in a new window, say create, and now that I have it like this, I could actually do more fun stuff. Is like to make it, bold or not bold. Or I could actually go with italicized with it, and change the color of it to something else. There, so that's eye catching, right? So now that I've actually done that, they see here, they're like, oh, why is that pink? Click, they click on this, and boom, it'll open it up. I would say that it looks better if you actually make it special text as opposed to just the URL. I think you save space on it and looks a little bit more professional. But I'm not going to criticize people for what they want to do on something like that. So if I was going to, if I like this one, I'm going to actually add to it. All right. Now from this one, I was like, let's just say that video I had was nice, but I don't really want it on the front one. I could actually then here just call this guy video and say that he's a subchapter. What happens is that he's going to get bumped down underneath Friday. And I was like, now that he's there, I was like, well, wait, what happened? What was that particular video that you had, Dan? And I was like, well, I'm going to save this for right now. All right, and it says, there's required content, so I'm just going to put the letter A because I'm going to come back and get rid of it. If I go into Friday's one and go back to its edit, I'm going to come down here and actually take this out of here and hit save, and then come into the video one, all right, and put it there. So now my video is actually on a separate subchapter inside of this one. Now if you see here, if I click on this one here, it's like it already calls itself a subchapter. It's not a subchapter of Friday. All right, sorry, it's not a subchapter of video. It is a subchapter of Friday. You only have chapter, all right, and subchapter. You don't have subchapter. Why? Because as this bumps out, you would end up having this huge convoluted mess of subchapters, and people would get lost.
Okay, so but I'm thinking like for my situation, needing to clean up my course page, Friday for me would be my units.
Mm-hmm.
The sub-chapters then are the pieces of literature, the work that goes with it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I kind of think of it, when I did mine, it was chapter and section.
Okay, right, okay.
How can you make a page read to you?
How can I make it read to me?
Well, read to you?
Yeah, if you're using any of the particular ones that are on there. So see if I were to go back to Friday here. Actually, did I save my, hold on a second. Yeah, I saved it. I want to make sure I put that one in there. If I'm in here, depending on which one you're using, we'll go with the more famous part here. This part. Yeah, okay. And now, see, I have SpeakIt. Depending on what one you actually have, as far as your Chrome browser tool to read with, see.
7 years ago our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equa.
Now, why did it say equa? Because I left.
Water, mine always says a real goofy thing.
Yeah.
It's water.
Well, that's the thing. I left the L off when I was highlighting.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I could have actually set it like this and then told it to go read the whole thing. No, don't do that because it will read the whole web page. Oh, yeah. And then you're just going, shut up, shut up, shut up. You're like, fine, I'm just closing it down, But yeah, these ones are nice because they will read to you. Now,
So
if you
just put SpeakIt on.
Yeah. If you go into your apps, all right, and go look for SpeakIt in this case. So for this one here, I'm going to the web store. All right. And
Is that the one you like the best?
yeah.
Okay.
Go for SpeakIt. Now, that might just see I already have it. It's rated. I can rate it right now, but this is the one that I have. It shows this icon right here. So if I go into it and go for options, all right, in SpeakIt, I can actually pick different ones based off of what I'm actually looking for. They are all of these.
What about for kids' machines? Do they have to each do that for it to work?
I think they might even actually already have it.
Okay.
But the reason why I try to get all the kids to Chrome is because it goes with you. So if I got on this at home and I'm on my Chrome account, SpeakIt's there, so I can do it on stuff there and on any website. You'll see like here, this is a completely different website, and I could actually just do this. And
on June 1st, 1865, Senator Charles.
And
So-
it just automatically comes up when you highlight it. Huh?
No, I highlight it and then go up here and click on it to start
Oh,
talking.
okay.
Yeah.
So it has to be up there.
Yeah. Now I can also highlight it and right click and then go down to SpeakIt like this too.
Okay.
And like here, that
On June 1st, 1865, Senator Charles.
On kids ones if we want them to do it.
say
I
again?
have to make sure that.
Yeah.
And they're signed in the Chrome
And they're signed into their Chrome
browser.
browser because that way it actually goes with them. It'll end up being up here. As you can see, I mean, of the tools I have, it's number
So
3.
that means if they're using the Chrome browser and they're taking a Moodle test, they can add the test tree to it.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, under this, I think I should have waited here. The ones that you could actually have on here. Now, one of the things that people don't often know is that if I come out here, all right, the tests that I give are quizzes. You can see here, here's one. Here's one for somebody to actually take. It has a URL. All right, I can go up to the URL, copy it, all right, come back out, go into my textbook here, open this one up. Let's say that I edit Friday, and I'm going to come down here to the very bottom and say, go take the quiz. All right, and I can create a link off of this one here and then put the URL for that quiz and open it up in another window. Now by doing this, and I hit save like this, you can see that here it is for them to go, right there, for them to go take the quiz. All right. Now this one actually has an arrow that takes them back. All right, but let's just say that it's not right next to it. If it's not right next to it, of course, that's not going to help you. If it's you need it to go someplace else, I've created a link here. So when a student actually is taking this, and you're like, yeah, but I want them to do an open book quiz, you could actually just go like this. And now they have the open book and they have the quiz. So they can go back and forth between them. Now, if you go into the restrictions stuff that we do later, there's ways of actually closing a book as soon as they open a quiz. So, they can't actually navigate around in it. So it's kind of interesting. But with this, you could actually go anywhere with it. If you have outside material, all right, like I said, we were going out to this website, you could go with it. If you want to work inside of Moodle, you can go into here with it and stuff. You can go from book to book if you wanted to. You could turn on just portions of the book. So see, I got this one here is turned off, all right? And you can see here as this one is a subsection of it, so it won't turn on unless its parent is on. But I can turn the child off and leave the parent on. All right. That being said, I think there might be another one. That's pretty much it. You go across and lead these ones into it. I tell you, if you already have the stuff in paperback form, it has never been more easy to turn paper print, all right, into something that you can throw into Moodle. Our new copiers, all right, will actually scan PDF OCR, all right, which actually reads it and puts it into scannable text, to which you could then scrape it off of there, all right, and throw it on here with a cut and paste. And the nice part about it is that nobody can lose a book, nobody can damage a book, all right. And if you ever want to update it, all right, and turn things on and off and stuff like that, and get them focused only on, it's like, I only want them looking at this chapter right now. You can do that very easily. You can have all your resources point to the book and your book back to your other resources. And it's just a way that can really, really clean up a lot of stuff for you. Yeah.
With our current textbooks, our new textbooks, part of that purchase was the online textbook for both teacher and students. Can I pull things from there to add here?
Yes. Reason being is because you already have a license for that particular information.
Right.
All right. What you're going to want to end up doing is when you have actually created this one,
Okay.
all right, is in this particular one, we have to edit the settings. In this particular book, what you're going to end up doing is going down here to restriction sets.
Yes.
The one I like actually adding is a complete restriction set. And I was like, why? I was like, because I can do multiple criterion in one spot.
Okay.
All right. So with this one, I'm saying that you must, all right, have something of the following. What is it? I was like, add restriction set. I'm going to say that you actually have to be, let's see, it's like you have to have a grade in the class. I don't have any students right now, so there's certain parts that are actually missing. Oh, here we go. Like level. All right, you have to be a particular level in the class before you could ever actually see this book. If you were doing something like that.
But I could like do just 8th grade or something.
Yeah, because see, right now I don't actually have groups. But
Right,
what I would
okay.
do is, and what I would say to do, all right, is because you usually have like 4 sections.
Right.
Just say any group.
Okay.
All right, that would be your option. So that if I were, because unfortunately I don't have any students actually in this one, but I think I do have groups. See, separate groups. Yeah. So I should actually have groups in here. And the thing is that you can actually, hide something like this, but you can make it available. And it's like, this one is tricky. And it's kind of a sneaky way. Because guess what? This book actually has its own URL as well. And I was like, so how is it the kids actually get to this? It was like, they can't see it. Nobody can see this on your website right now. And I was like, how do kids get it? I was like, I sent them a message through my Google Classroom. Bing! And it's like, what is it? It gives them a link to this book. That's the only way that you can get to that book right now. I can actually then, here, I was like, I can make unavailable, all right? I can actually come in and actually show it. Now, under the show part, I can even leave it there. Now, if I'm in the restriction set here, and I put this in and say that they actually have to complete a task, and it's like, what task do they actually have to? They have to actually do the quiz, all right, and it has to be marked as complete. Or I could say that they actually have to get a passing grade or a failing grade. It's like, why would you say they have to have a failing grade? This could be a supplemental thing to actually help somebody who's actually struggling. So it could be, here's something to help you through this. So right now, anybody can see this, but the only people that can actually get to it are these people. If I do this, the only people that can even see it are the people it actually applies to. It won't even show up until
So you hit that and say only 5th graders can see it.
Yep.
So a guest wouldn't see it on your.
Nope.
Okay.
And you do that, you can actually then, of course, I said to him down here, we already did that one, all right? And I hit save and display, and it looks no different. If I come out here, though, to look at it, down here, you'll see this part of it. Now these things get a little convoluted, all right, when you're in the full-on teacher mode. If you don't like looking at these things, the easy way is to switch your role, all right, for a reason, and you go down to clean course view. You're still a teacher, all right, and there's your stuff, but all your restrictions and things are hidden. Yeah, which is a nice way to go about it. But see, normally, look, you're like, wow, I got all that crap on there, And I was like, yeah, but the kids never see it, unless you actually turn the eyeball on, and in that sense, they would see, oh, I don't get in this. Why don't I get in this? Because I didn't pass this yet, or I didn't finish this, or I need to look at that. It helps actually guide them through it. But
I find that very helpful when I've made a quiz with 2 variations for my IEP kids or my other kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that very helpful with that eyeball because nobody knows they get a different quiz.
Yeah.
Nobody can see it.
As I was doing that, actually back when I was doing social studies, I had like multiple ones like that. And the nice thing is by being able to duplicate the assignment, you can duplicate it and slightly modify it, duplicate it, slightly modify it, and boom, now you actually have 3 different tests that are out there, and you can say this group does this, this, and this, and this. And you're differentiating it like lightning speed compared to, you have that one worksheet, and you're like, okay, you guys don't do number 5 or number 7. You guys don't do 5, 7, and 19. And I was like, here, just like this, and the kids never see any difference. And they can all have access to this, or you can limit access to these types of materials in the books and stuff based off of need, for particular kids and, and so forth. Now, as you can see, going through this is back out. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, there was a thing. You guys, you notice when I was back here and I clicked on this, this is how the students would actually see it. Do you notice that they can't see the video on here? But if I turn editing on, I can see it. It's because I have the eyeball closed on it. So if I turn the eyeball back on, all right, now then kids actually, you see it pop up, and now when kids actually come into this particular thing, they'll actually have those 2 options. But if I close it off, they don't even know that they can't see the video. And it's nice because you can actually use it to organize your class. So you can actually go through your own made-up book day by day. And if there was some way that you had everything planned out, you literally could make a book that says 180 days of school, and chapter 1 is day 1, and you do, and it's like chapter 2, like that, and work straight through it. The nice thing is too, is like, if you were in here before, we were doing stuff through the Google Classroom, and if I look at that one on here, I'm going to go to a classroom. You can actually go in here, excuse me, into this classroom, all right, to like this particular assignment. This particular assignment, excuse me, instructions are right here. You can actually copy that URL, come back here, all right, under something like this, and let's go ahead and edit this. And now, instead of going to that one, we're going to take this one and now we click here, and it takes the kids to our assignment that we actually have. Now, it doesn't have to be an assignment. It could be materials. It could be that daily check question, And the nice thing is that it's in Moodle, it's available, and it's connecting to the Google one, all right? But you can see there's not a lot of crap hanging out in our Moodle. It kind of streamlines it and makes everybody go, where you want them to go.
Okay, so for like that one, that's just some reading that I put there. So I would want to leave it as you just did, to direct them to the classroom rather than say, figure out a way to copy and
Oh no, I tell you seriously, if I was taking this guy here,
Yes.
all right, I would take this, and it was like what it actually is right now. In order to get this particular guy, which, yeah, all right, he's not going to be friendly to me right off the bat. So
Okay.
this is going to be a little convoluted and stop me if I lose you. All right,
Okay.
but I'm going to go to print.
All right.
All right. Now under this print, I'm actually going to tell it to save it as a PDF. All right. So I'm going to say save. All right. Now I have it in here, and I'm going to move it out to my downloads just so I can find it quicker.
Sure.
So save. All right. Now as that one comes up, all right, we're going to go in here and go into my downloads, and I'm going to open that one here. Here it is. I'm going to open this, and I'm going to open it with this Adobe Acrobat, not that one, the white one.
Okay.
All right, so I got the white one. Now with this one, I got tools, and I can actually go down and where you are, text recognition. All right, this whole file, run the whole thing, and it takes a little bit to get through all the pages. Now I'm saying the reason why you'd want to do this would be primarily to make it possible for them to read it
Right.
or have it read to them.
Okay.
All right. Now with this one, I was like, I've already done this, and I'm going to actually, so I could actually save it. I'm going to save it as a reduced size PDF, and this is nice because by doing so, I'm basically squishing it so that I can actually, if I'm going to use it someplace, it's now probably every bit half as small as it once was. All right, but as you can see here, I can actually highlight words now with this. So if I was to get this, now here's the problem, is that when you end up with crazy junk like this,
Right.
copying and pasting is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. But if it's one that you're going to use time and again, is I would take something like this, you know, and you could actually also take this and go save as, and you could go into a Word document. All right. If the Word document actually works, you can take this out, try it, go with the doc, let it run through it, and see what it does to the text. It might actually help you, it may not, depending on how many things are actually in the way. Because it takes a little while to actually run through the stuff. But once it has, and
What was it originally saved as, a picture?
it's a PDF, but it's a PDF web page, so that
So it almost was like a image file.
yeah. So yeah, you can't actually see any of the particular individual words or individual letters. So that if you were back here, all right, and you were going to open up, say, another one. So like for here, I'm going to open up one. It's not going to be a subchapter. I'm actually bringing it out to be a full one, and I'm just going to call it English 8, just to throw one in. And the content will be what I'm getting ready to bring over. Now with that, I'm going to grab some of that stuff that I had already. Now, I've copied it. I have paste. So you can see if I paste it, it looks like that. Not awesome. All right. Because it's bringing with it its formatting.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So if I copy this and go with plain text, all right, you can see, well, it's like it still seems to be actually pumping over there, and it might be because I left the last one in place on it. And
Even if I left like just the literature itself in the classroom, I could link it here,
mm-hmm.
and then all the activities could be here
Mhm.
with that piece. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it is, it could be basically the hub of your entire class, and you literally could spell everything out for the entire year. And that's the thing, is it doesn't have to be, you don't have to think of it like, okay, here we're only talking about say the Renaissance, and over here we're only talking about Reconstruction, and over here is Civil War, so I need 3 different books. You don't need to, but you can. But I think if you've had one book with all your topics in it and stuff like that, the thing is nice is that when you're done with a particular topic, which would be a chapter, as soon as you turn that eyeball off, nobody sees any more of that. So you have them focused on just what you're working on at the time. To them, it looks like there's 20 different books, but for you, it's one book. That ties all the other things actually together. But that's the way that if you were going to go into bring that particular text in and copy and paste the stuff into it. The thing is that with this, I don't know, is bringing in any kind of other thing, like here, all right, as manage files, is if I had got a few too many windows open. Sorry. So here's here's the English 8 one that I did earlier, and here is the PDF version of it. I hit save. You can actually bring these ones in. So they can actually be used as links to them, that are actually inside the actual document itself. I'll just throw some letters in. So for this one, well, I tell you, the links I think work really nice. If you already have them sitting someplace else, and you're comfortable with it, why move it?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, even like the copy and paste, it might be nice that it's right there. But if it's already this beautiful PDF somewhere else with the pictures already in place to help them visualize, I mean, that would be crazy for me to try and,
Yeah, and if you feel like changing your mind later on, you can. That's the nice thing with it. It's just that there's so many different options, but it is probably the best way, I think, to actually keep your stuff organized, on where it is. And the nice thing is that, like I said, you could link to everything with it. Anything that has a URL has ability to tie into it on multiple levels. But it's pretty simple, but you can make it as complex as you want. Anybody have questions on it, though? Yes.
So can I create, what would I create that if I wanted them to go to my Reading Street website, pearsonrealize.com, and read a selection there, and then come back and take a quiz? Do I just have to tell them, you're going to do this first and you're going to do this? Or is there a way to create something that says, and locks them down to just, they click on it, it goes out to that, and then they come back?
Well, I would say the best way to actually do that is to click it so that it actually goes out. All right. Getting them to come back is difficult because you'd actually have to have something that's on the server wherever they're going. Okay, because a web page is a page that's sitting in a server somewhere else. So getting them to come back after a certain amount of time, more difficult. So if you have them open it up in a separate window, like when we did, like for this, actually, yeah. for when you clicked on this one here,
Yeah.
it went to this page.
Right.
And I was like, so this could be any kind of page, doesn't matter what it is, but this one happens to be reading. All right, I'm going to click on this one. I was like, this actually here, I don't even know if the actual one, it does change. Let's see. No, it does not actually change. The interesting thing is for this one, by the way, Thompson, this one is probably in your drive. Is it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, you could link straight to your drive. You don't actually even have to have this here.
Really?
Yeah. Case in point, watch. I'm going to actually show you one going straight from your drive, actually, and I'm going to put it in here.
Well, I misspoke. That particular piece may not be in my drive, but go ahead.
Oh,
and
yeah.
see what happens.
Anything in your key drive is what you're saying.
No, anything that's in your Google Drive.
Google.
Yeah. So if I click into here to go into my drive, and I don't know, I'm looking for something from a classroom, and there's something Tech Tuesday. Nope, left that one out. There we go. And you know, I'm trying to think of something that has something in it, but here we go. Yeah, all right. Here, I'm going to pick the learning standards. All right, now that I have this one here, excuse me, I can click on it. All right, and go up to share, and under share I go for shareable link. All right, and under this one I say that they can actually view it. So anybody at National Trail, all right, that's what I've set up under this one. As you can see, anyone at National Trail with this link can view this particular item. So I say that, I click this link, I say copy, and I come back in here and go into edit this one, all right, and pick anything that I want. I'm going to just pick this and put this particular link in here, tell it to open up in another page, say create, say save. All right. So if somebody's reading this, it was like, now you notice it didn't look like it changed, right? No, it's because it's blue and hyperlinks on this page are blue too. So, but watch as I go over the top of it, it changes. See, it changes into light blue. And if I click on it, it opens up that particular file. And the nice thing is like, wait, I don't actually have to have another link to something else. No, and guess what? Guess who gets to see this? If it's particularly secured information, anybody who gets in here, all right, and is not an NTLS person, they can't get that link. It won't go there. So if you're worried about copyright law and stuff like that, you can't get to this unless you're a trail. It's another way of protecting you and protecting those people who have copyrighted information. But any link that you can actually get takes you right there. So you could actually have those questions linked to this, all kinds of stuff.